India on Thursday recorded over 32,000 new cases of novel coronavirus in the last 24 hours, pushing the total cases to over 9.68 lakh. However, recovery rate has improved to over 63%.
India saw its highest single-day spike of 32,695 COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours. 606 deaths in this period have taken the total number of deaths to 24,915. With over 6,12,000 recoveries, there are now 3,31,000 active cases, giving a recovery rate of 63.25%. Around 1,27 lakh samples have been tested so far. The highest number, over 3,26,000, were tested yesterday. Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, Rajasthan, Kerala, Jharkhand and Goa recorded their highest ever single-day increase in COVID-19 cases. Active cases have risen sharply to 3.2%, which means cases are doubling in 22 days. With 7,975 cases, Maharashtra had the most number of infections on Wednesday, followed by Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Delhi had the highest number of deaths in the last 24 hours. At 7.36%, Karnataka has the highest growth rate with a doubling time of less than 10 days. Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh and West Bengal have seen a sharp increase in COVID-19 numbers this month. Infections in each state has nearly doubled since the start of July. Cases in Uttar Pradesh are growing at 4.14%. In West Bengal, it is 4.78%. Daily increase in Andhra Pradesh is 6.87%, which is second only to Karnataka. Outside the top 10 states, Bihar and Assam are experiencing very high growth rates. Fresh COVID-19 cases breached the 1,000 mark in Bihar for 4 days. The state now has 19,284 cases, 174 deaths and 12,849 recoveries. Assam has over 19,754 total COVID-19 cases. Deaths due to the virus almost tripled in less than a fortnight. Less than half of the cases are in Guwahati. The last 2 months have seen two clear trends of increasing test positivity rate and a declining death rate. Test positivity rate is the ratio of positive cases to the number of tests conducted. Despite more testing, the positivity rate is rising steadily and is much above the 5% benchmark. At the beginning of May, it was 4.14%, meaning out of every 10,000 individuals tested, 414 were positive. In June, it became 7.38% and surged to 10.9% on the 16th of July. The death rate or case fatality ratio is the ratio of people who died to those who tested positive. It indicates how the country is averting deaths. The death rate in May was 3.28%. It has reduced to 2.57% now. Medical infrastructure in India to treat COVID-19 patients includes 1,381 dedicated hospitals, 3,100 health centers and 10,367 care centers. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan says that India has performed better than any other nation on every parameter in the fight against COVID-19.
On Thursday, Dr. Vardhan inaugurated the newly constructed Rajkumari Amrit Kaur OPD building at the premises of AIIMS in New Delhi. He said the data related to COVID-19 is showing improvement. The recovery rate has now reached 63.25%. while the fatality rate is 2.57%. The new building will have OPD services and physiotherapy for elderly people. Union Minister of State for Health and Family Welfare, Ashwini Chaubey, was also present at the ceremony.
लोगों को अपना इलाज कराने की, अपने टेस्ट कराने की, अपने एक्सरे कराने की, इन सब चीज़ों की सुविधा होगी। हमारे लिए ये बहुत खुशी का अवसर है। अभी एम्स में इसी प्रकार से 3 और बड़े ब्लॉक्स वो तेज़ी से निर्माण अपना पूरा कर रहे हैं, उनको अगले कुछ महीनों के अंदर हम लोग देश के लोगों को समर्पित करेंगे।
To remain globally competitive in the post-COVID world, India needs to focus on the skills of its population. Speaking exclusively to Rajya Sabha television, Skill Development and Entrepreneurship Minister Mahendra Nath Pandey emphasized on the government's commitments to work with the industry on developing a cohesive ecosystem for future skills. Here are the details.
In an exclusive interview to Rajya Sabha television, Skill Development and Entrepreneurship Minister Mahendra Nath Pandey said that skill development will be the backbone of Atmanirbhar Bharat. To this effect, the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship recently launched the Atmanirbhar Skilled Employee-Employer Mapping Portal, which will help skilled workers find sustainable livelihood opportunities.
और हमने जो प्रगति की है इसमें इन इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ स्किल्स के माध्यम से सारे एनएसटीआई आईटीआईज को लिंक अप करके टाटा एजुकेशनल डेवलपमेंट ट्रस्ट और हम मिलकर पीपी में कर रहे हैं। इससे पूरे देश के स्किल इकोसिस्टम को विश्व स्तरीय बनाने की पहल आगे बढ़ चुकी है।
The minister also asserted that the government is identifying major skills gap in sectors to provide employers a platform to assess the availability of a skilled workforce.
इंडस्ट्री फ्रेंडली अप्रेंटिसशिप के और भी सरलीकरण करेंगे, जिससे कि इंडस्ट्री से बच्चों को, नौजवानों को अर्निंग भी हो जाए, इंडस्ट्री को भी एक स्किल पर्सन मिल जाए, दोनों का लाभ हो और एमएसएमई को बूस्टअप करने में एक स्किल्ड मैन पावर भी सपोर्ट करे। ये अनेक उपलब्धियां हैं। एक बेहतर स्किल इको सिस्टम पूरे देश में बना है।
Pandey also said that the government has approved the third phase of the skill development scheme Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana with an increased focus on digital technology and Industry 4.0. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
The novel coronavirus pandemic has inspired some innovative solutions for a post-COVID-19 world. Indian Railways has designed special coaches for post-COVID travel. The coaches have facilities like hands-free amenities, foot-operated water taps and soap dispensers. Other features include copper-coated handrails and latches, forearm-operated handles on compartment doors, and plasma air purification that sterilizes air and surfaces inside the AC coaches. The Rail Coach Factory Kapurthala will launch these post-COVID-19 coaches. Additionally, the coaches will have titanium dioxide coating on various surfaces that kills viruses, bacteria, mold and fungal growth and enhances indoor air quality. Meanwhile, to keep entrepreneurial spirit high amid the pandemic, Niti Aayog's flagship Atal Innovation Mission has teamed up with other ministries and partners to support startups with COVID-19 innovative solutions. Atal Innovation Mission held virtual COVID-19 demo days, an initiative to identify promising startups with potential COVID-19 innovations. Under the program, more than 70 startups are shortlisted for support in the form of funds, access to manufacturing abilities, and supply chain. In another development, the world's most affordable COVID-19 test kit was launched by Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi. With a base price of 399 rupees per test, the kit Corosure was e-launched by Union Human Resource Development Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank on Wednesday. The kit is approved by ICMR and DGCI. The Union Minister informed that IIT Delhi has given 10 companies manufacturing licenses.
अंतर विषय शोध होने चाहिए। एक के पास एक आइडियाज है, दूसरे के पास दूसरा, ये दोनों मिलकर के नई चीज तो दे सकते हैं। और इसलिए स्ट्राइड, मुझे खुशी है, स्ट्राइड के तहत जो है आज जो अंतर विषय शोध में नित नई चीजें निकल रही हैं। हमने इस पार्क को कहा पूरी दुनिया के लोगों के साथ हम अनुसंधान करेंगे, दिखाएंगे कि हम में भी दम है, हमारा भी विजन है, हम किसी से पीछे नहीं है। मुझे भरोसा है कि दुनिया के जो शीर्ष 127 देशों के साथ 127 विश्वविद्यालय और 28 देशों के साथ जो हमारा पारस्परिक अनुसंधान चल रहा है, वो भी एक नई दिशा में एक कीर्तिमान स्थापित करेगा। और इसलिए आज जो काम आज हो रहा है, ये अनवरत होना है। अब ये रुकना नहीं है, हमको थकना नहीं है, एक के बाद एक के बाद एक, ये पूरे विश्व में हम लोगों को यदि फतेह तय करनी है तो अब रुकने का कोई विषय, कोई नाम नहीं है। आत्मनिर्भर भारत ये स्वावलंबन की से भी एक कदम आगे बढ़ करके है। क्या नहीं हो सकता मेरे भारत में, 130 करोड़ लोगों का ये देश है।
And amid rising novel coronavirus cases that crossed 13.7 million and claimed 5,87,606 lives worldwide, Russia says it will mass produce its experimental COVID-19 vaccine. After completing its first human trial of the COVID-19 vaccine candidate with positive results, Russia wants to produce 30 million doses with plans to increase to 170 million doses. On Wednesday, the United States reported its biggest daily spike of over 71,000 new cases. Total cases crossed 3.6 million with over 140,000 deaths in the country. Several U.S. states, including Florida, are struggling with the shortage of hospital beds amid the surging cases. Latin America and the Caribbean have 3.5 million coronavirus cases and over 150,000 deaths. Mexico had 6,149 new cases on Wednesday, bringing its total to over 3,17,000, prompting health officials to set up mobile testing clinics in hotspots. Brazil on Wednesday had over 1,230 new COVID-19 deaths, taking its death toll to over 75,000 with 2 million confirmed cases. President Jair Bolsonaro tested positive for the second time in a week. With face masks and social distancing, the Disneyland theme park in Paris welcomed limited visitors with advanced ticket booking and hand sanitizing. Spain on Wednesday suspended dine-in services and closed cultural and entertainment venues to prevent a second wave of infections. Australia's Victoria State, on the other hand, reported its highest daily increase of 317 new coronavirus cases on Thursday. The state has been isolated for over a week. With over 10,000 cases, Australia announced an additional $1.4 billion as wage subsidy to counter rising unemployment. Tokyo on Thursday reported a record 286 new cases. With 22,508 infections, its coronavirus alert is at its highest. Infections are rising in other parts of the country, with Osaka reporting 66 new cases. On Thursday, Beijing had no new domestically transmitted cases for the 10th straight day. 100 days after lifting its lockdown, Wuhan's stores and restaurants are now fully functional. And on to some other news, India and China remain committed to the objective of complete disengagement from friction points in eastern Ladakh, the Indian Army said in a statement on Thursday.
The statement, released 2 days after the commander-level meeting between both sides in Chushul, said the process of disengagement is intricate and requires constant verification. Both India and China are taking it forward through regular meetings at diplomatic and military levels. During the fourth round of talks between senior commanders on the 14th of July, both sides reviewed the progress on implementation of the first phase of disengagement and discussed further steps to ensure complete disengagement. The disengagement process began following a telephonic conversation between special representatives of India and China on the 5th of July. Meanwhile, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will embark on a 2-day visit to Ladakh and Jammu and Kashmir on Friday. He is scheduled to visit the forward areas along the line of control and the line of actual control. He will interact with field commanders and assess the ground situation in forward areas of both the LAC and LOC. This will be the Defence Minister's first visit to the forward areas since the border standoff with China began in early May.
And in view of the border standoff with China in eastern Ladakh, the Defence Ministry has granted special powers to the 3 services for individual capital procurement programs to meet emergent operational requirements.
In a major boost to the Indian Armed Forces arsenal, the Defence Acquisition Council on Wednesday delegated the powers for progressing urgent capital acquisition cases of up to 300 crore rupees to the armed forces to plug their operational deficiencies. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said the move will shrink the procurement timelines and ensure placement of orders within 6 months and commencement of deliveries within 1 year. There is no cap on the number of procurement programs. However, each acquisition under the emergency requirement category should not cost more than 300 crore rupees. The special meeting of the Defence Acquisition Council was convened considering the prevailing security environment along the northern borders and the need to strengthen the armed forces for the defence of the country's borders. Earlier this month, the Defence Ministry approved the procurement of 33 frontline fighter jets, a number of missile systems and other military hardware at a cost of 38,900 crore rupees. The Defence Ministry has also decided to allow invalid pension to armed forces personnel with less than 10 years of qualifying service. Invalid pension is meant for those invalided out of service on account of disability, which is accepted as neither attributable to nor aggravated by military service. Approved by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, the move will benefit all those army personnel who were in service on or before the 4th of January 2019. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Moving on in the bulletin, India and European Union on Wednesday decided on a 5-year roadmap to strengthen bilateral cooperation in different fields. It will act as an umbrella understanding for India and the European bloc of 27 countries. And this will be in addition to other bilateral cooperation agreements with the individual countries.
India and the European Union signed a document titled India-EU Strategic Partnership, a Roadmap to 2025 at the end of a virtual summit on Thursday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the two EU representatives Charles Michel, President of the European Council, and Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission, took part in the meeting. The roadmap is the outcome of understanding between India and the EU in areas like foreign policy, security, trade and investment, environment and climate change, partnership in modernization and urban development, human rights, outer space, health and innovation. It also contains cooperation in multinational organizations, connectivity and maritime cooperation. Most importantly, both sides also decided to cooperate with the third world countries.
New roadmap to 2025 has been adopted. Now, the earlier agenda for Action 2020 is going to be over soon. So this roadmap provides a guidelines to policymakers for the next 5 years. So the broad topics, concerning foreign policy and security issues, trade and business, climate change, environment, urban development, global governance, mobility, etc. has all been agreed. So both sides now basically know that what kind of strategies and what kind of actions are needed for the next 5 years.
The roadmap mentions strengths of both countries. It also focuses at length on employment for Indians, child labor and migration issues. Parliament, education, culture and civil society are a part of the comprehensive roadmap that has 118 points based on common understanding. This is actually part of the understanding that was there between India and the EU between 2015 and 2020. This was renewed for the next 5 years during the summit, showing positive and successful outcomes between the two largest democratic blocs.
Although there is no immediate restarting of FTA negotiations, but a high-level dialogue for trade and investment at the ministerial level has been established. So till the time negotiation begin and concluded, we will have a high-level mechanism to deal with trade and investment issues. Now the counter-piracy dialogue has been now made a comprehensive maritime security dialogue. There is also a declaration on circular economy, and both have also agreed to work together to mitigate the health and economic impact of COVID-19. So overall, I think it was a very useful meeting.
Besides the roadmap, India and the European Union signed 4 other documents. In addition to a resolve to learn from the best practices of both India and the EU, the sides also decided to cooperate on water partnership, water management and the use of civil nuclear energy in agriculture, health and industry.
Roadmap 2025 shows the commitment between India and European Union, and it challenges monopolistic tendencies in the world. it will be interesting to see that how the bonhomie between the two translates in trade relations in coming days. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Sabha Television with camera person Manoj in Delhi.
In an informal telephonic conversation on Thursday, Union Minister Piyush Goyal flagged the pending issue of the US-India Social Security Totalization Agreement with US Secretary of Commerce Wilbur Ross. The issue had been discussed during the visit of US President Donald Trump to India in February 2020. Appreciating India's concern on the matter, Secretary Ross said India has to fulfill US statutory requirements in this regard. He offered to arrange a meeting between concerned officials on the matter. Goyal also raised the matter of America denying manufacturers of 24 Indian items opportunity to participate in American supply contracts by designating them as child labor sectors. The US is keeping these items under TVPRA or Trafficking Victims Protection Reauthorization Act list. Ross offered to set up a meeting on this between the Labour Department officials of both sides. Goyal also raised the matter of America's ban on import of wild catch shrimp from India on the mistaken assumption that fishing practices here were non-compliant with US regulations to protect sea turtles. And in the Kerala gold smuggling case, investigation agencies carried out multiple raids in Thiruvananthapuram on Wednesday. The locations included the Kerala State IT Infrastructure Limited, where one of the suspects, Swapna Suresh, used to work. The customs also searched a flat near the Secretariat, where former Principal Secretary to Kerala Chief Minister M. Sivasankar used to reside. The raids come after a special court in Kochi sent Swapna Suresh and Sandeep Nair to NIA custody till 21st of July. The case relates to the smuggling of 30 kg of gold worth 14.82 crore rupees camouflaged as diplomatic baggage. The NIA filed cases under Section 16, 17 and 18 of the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act 1967 against 4 suspects. 3 have been arrested. The Drug Controller General of India has approved production and sale of India's first indigenously developed vaccine against pneumonia. Developed by the Serum Institute of India, it is expected to prevent millions of child deaths due to pneumonia every year. Here are the details. Pneumonia kills millions of children in India under the age of 5 every year. For the first time, Indian scientists have created a vaccine with indigenous technology to treat the disease. The vaccine is developed and manufactured by the Serum Institute of India. DCGI has also approved the sale of the vaccine.
ये जो वैक्सीन जो इंडिया में बनी है, इसका मैं समझता हूँ कि काफ़ी महत्वपूर्ण योगदान है मेडिकल साइंस में, क्योंकि जो न्यूमोकोकल वैक्सीन है हम प्रिवेंशन के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा यूज करते हैं, क्योंकि जो कुछ हाई रिस्क पॉपुलेशन है जिनमें अगर न्यूमोकोकल इन्फेक्शन होते हैं तो उनमें एडवर्स आउटकम होने के बहुत ज़्यादा चांस होते हैं, जैसे कि बच्चे हैं और जो बुजुर्ग हैं.
Data from the 3 phases of the clinical trials done by Pune's Serum Institute of India were submitted to the DCGI. After review by the Special Expert Committee, the Drug Controller General of India approved its launch. The vaccine will be used for active immunization against invasive disease and pneumonia caused by Streptococcus pneumoniae among infants. Till date, pneumonia vaccine in India were imported. A United Nations report ranks India second in the number of deaths of children under the age of 5 in 2018 due to pneumonia. In 2018, 1,27,000 children died in India from pneumonia. An indigenous vaccine would change all that. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. 7 months after Parliament passed the Transgender Persons Protection of Rights Act, the Centre has notified the rules to operationalize the law. The draft rules were put in public domain on 18th of May. The new rules specify the application for issue of certificate of identity card, procedure and issue of identity card, certificate of identity for change of gender, etc. Further, they state there is no need for a medical examination for transgender persons applying for a certificate of identity. The rules define discrimination and mandate the government to take steps to prohibit discrimination in government or private organizations. every establishment has to mandatorily formulate an equal opportunity policy to prevent discrimination in jobs, promotion and provision of basic amenities. The rules also envisage creation of grievance redressal forums and mandate establishments to designate a complaint officer. The rules call for a national council for monitoring, review and evaluation of transgender welfare and protection of rights at the state and local level. Rules say the centre and states should change educational curriculum to foster respect for gender diversity. States are to be responsible for timely prosecution of individuals charged under Section 18 of the Act that proscribes offences against the transgender community and penalties. Parliament passed the Transgender Persons Protection of Rights Act last November that aims to protect the rights of transgender people by granting them recognition and making welfare provisions for them. In some other news, Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed his condolence over the death of a Vanvasi Kalyan Ashram President Jagdeo Ram Oran on Wednesday.
Known for his kind and hard-working nature, Oran devoted his life to serving the tribal communities, the Prime Minister said in his message. Several BJP leaders, including Party Chief JP Nadda, Tribal Affairs Minister Arjun Munda, expressed their grief at his passing away.
And a wave of tweets in apparent hacking swept through the microblogging site Twitter on Wednesday afternoon, with more than half a dozen high-profile accounts, including those belonging to US presidential candidate Joe Biden, billionaire Bill Gates, rapper Kanye West and Barack Obama, among others, were compromised in an alleged Bitcoin scam. Here is a detailed report.
The most powerful accounts in America got compromised on Wednesday in a brazen cyber attack. Twitter handles of Apple and Uber were among the first to be impacted, followed by those of Elon Musk and Bill Gates. A tweet from Bill Gates' account read, "Everyone is asking me to give back. You send $1,000, I send you back $2,000. In a couple of hours, hackers had taken over the handles of Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Mike Bloomberg and Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. Handles of boxer Floyd Mayweather and celebrity Kim Kardashian were also affected. Several accounts of cryptocurrency-focused organizations were also hacked. In an extraordinary measure, Twitter disabled the validated accounts from posting tweets for about 2 hours after scammers tried to dupe people into sending the cryptocurrency Bitcoin to the hijacked users' profiles. The microblogging site said it was a coordinated attack targeting its employees with access to internal systems and tools. Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey responded to the attack and said it was a tough day for Twitter. He added that they are diagnosing and will share everything that they can after understanding what exactly happened. The 4-hour-long hacking of high-profile accounts has exposed the vulnerability of social media giants than ever before. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And that is it from me and the entire team of News Tonight at the moment. We'll see you tomorrow at the same time for all the day's big stories. Thanks for watching. Good night and take care.